Jim, I did want to get to you on GW. Carl mentioned it. Let's take a look. They're not going to let us stop looking at GameStop, are they, guys? They're just the control room's just going to keep. Just going to keep.
The control room is in charge.
Yeah, they're in charge. You think you want to talk Jazz, Pharma, GW? No, you got to talk GameStop. But there it is. We kid. You can see though, it's a huge premium, Jim, for a company you've talked about a lot. You've had them as a guest, of course, on Mad Money. Let me just go through a couple of quick things here. In having spoken to people who helped to put the deal together, I mean, you're going to have a lot of leverage at Jazz Pharma. This is not an insignificant acquisition for this company, given its size and what it's paying, some $7.2 billion, most of it in cash. They're borrowing that money. When you net out cash at GW Pharma, you do get a bit of a lower number, but not much. They're going to be at 5.5 times leverage at close, but they say they're going to reduce that very quickly, given the cash flow characteristics of the combined company. Sleep disorders, oncology, obviously they already have at GW that drug to treat patients in 1 year or older for the treatment of seizures. Jim, I want your take on whether it makes sense to you, given it is a very aggressive move for Jazz Pharma, which does say it's going to be, well, massively accretive. Those are my words, not theirs, to a certain extent, but accretive day one.
Well, I've always appreciated Justin Gover as the CEO. He's been on Mad Money many, many times. And what he's done at GW Pharma is come up, the key word here is dosing. Right now, if you want to take cannabis, the reason why it has not been so successful with doctors is you can't dose it correctly. But with GW Pharma, you can dose the cannabis that they make effectively. So, yes, right now it's just been a remarkable drug for a very small population, really the parents driving it, of children with epilepsy. The big hope here is neuroscience, that if we can get cannabis to replace opiates, this is not something Justin talks about. It is off-label. I want to be very careful. It's my talking about it, not him. But if you can do that, then what happens is if you've got Jazz and GW coming up with, I think it's the first anti-pain company that is not addictive. Right now, remember, cannabis remains, for medicines, actually a Class 1 felony. The only place you can actually get cannabis legally for this is the University of Mississippi. This is a remarkable move and a demonstration that Justin Gover never missed the mission, which was to help children. But, oh, my God, I think that this neuroscience leader that's come from Jazz is very impressive. I think that Justin has fought through many different periods where he had said, you know what, cannabis is fine. And when you look at Scott's Miracle-Gro, we could talk about that. But what matters is the ability for a doctor to write a prescription for cannabis. And the only one you can do, David, is GW Pharma.
And the cannabinoid there. Yeah, it's interesting. Shares of Jazz Pharma, just from an M&A perspective, had looked like they were going to be down. They are now rebounding and actually up. So they are getting some credit at this point. They've looked at this deal for quite some time, is my understanding. Been talking for a bit. Unclear whether there was any sort of auction. But given the price, Jim, it's not as though somebody else is expected to step in here. Quite a premium that they're willing to pay.
Well, when I talk to Justin, Justin's a dry fellow. Our discussions are often about how the heck did he get typified with Tilray? I mean, why is he with Canopy Growth, which I actually like it? There's all these different ETFs, and suddenly here's GW Pharma, which is a drug company, and it's lumped in with companies that you and I, David, would say, well, wait a second, they need legalization. And so he's been, his stock has been kept down by the fact that he is part of the ETFization of cannabis, not cannabinoid. So congratulations to him to be able to say, you know what? I want this company to be a science company, not a pot company. And, David, pot companies haven't done all that well, as we know.
No. And, Carl, to Jim's point, it is not a pot company. We may lump it in, but it is, as he says, about drug development and will soon be, when they close the deal, of course, a part of Jazz.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.